My name is Jeff Johnson. I work for the Utah Division of Emergency Management. I oversee the Be Ready Schools program as the state coordinator. And last summer, the state was doing a remodel project on this building, on the state office building. And they were replacing all the exterior windows. We have a little room out on the west side that used to be the main entrance to this building, and it is a glass enclosed room that used to be a reception center. And we call it the fishbowl because it is enclosed in glass. So our bureau chief came into us and he told us that we had to move everything away from the windows in that room prior to 5 o'clock that night. This was 2 p.m. in the afternoon. My intern and myself started moving all of the things that we could move. And we were just trying to get them away from the windows so they could tear the windows out. We got down to, we had one great big cabinet left to move. It's about 2 feet deep and 3 feet wide and about 6 feet high. It's a wooden cabinet and it was full of pamphlets. All we really needed to do was turn that cabinet around and make it face the wall, get it away from the window. At the exact same time we got ready to move that, my intern disappeared. And so I walked to the office once looking for him, because this was a very heavy cabinet, and I couldn't find him. So I walked to the office again and asked if anybody had seen him, and nobody had. And I looked at my watch and I decided, I got to do this. So I went out, took a look at that cabinet, and decided if I just tilted it, left most of the weight on the floor and leaned it against me, and walked it from corner to corner to corner, I could move it myself. And so I started doing that. I got the cabinet leaning against me and I muscled it this way and muscled it that way, and I pushed it against the corner of the room and got it out of the way. It had really strained me. I had felt a whole lot of strain in moving the cabinet. I hustled out of the room, out of the building, got in my car, started driving to Provo, and on the way down to Provo I realized my left shoulder started to really ache severely. This got so bad by the time I'd reached Point of the Mountain, about halfway to my destination, that I couldn't even keep my left hand up on the steering wheel. And I started driving with my left arm across my chest, and my shoulder was just killing me. I later found out that I had torn 4 of the ligaments in my shoulder. And I didn't take any time off work. I came back to work the next day and just babied my shoulder. I'm one of these people who, having been a law enforcement officer and had gone home most of my life with bumps and bruises at the end of work, felt like my shoulder would heal. And even though we did the paperwork on it, I was smart enough to do that from having been injured as many times as I had during my law enforcement career. I wasn't planning on seeking any professional help for my shoulder. I figured I'd strained it, I'd sprained it. Having been through those situations before, I figured it would heal. And 2 or 3 weeks into this, it was worse than when I started. It was getting worse. So I waited another week. About 4 weeks into this, I finally went and saw a doctor, and they referred me to an orthopedic surgeon. We determined that it was going to take surgery. With all this happening in the schedule, we ended up scheduling the surgery for the first week of March, and I had surgery on my shoulder in March. From September till March, I put up with this, and I've had to put up with a recuperation or again a therapy period afterwards, and it has changed my life and affected my life a lot. Just 2 weeks ago, my wife looked at me and said, "Do we get Christmas lights this year?" Because last year, I didn't hang up any Christmas lights because I could not lift my left arm above shoulder height, and even trying to do so caused severe pain and then discomfort for the next day or two. So I found out that I was very limited in what I could do. Couldn't hang Christmas lights. Couldn't play basketball with my daughter, who's on the high school basketball team. We didn't plant a garden this year because I couldn't run the rototiller. I couldn't rake. I couldn't do all those kind of things. And it was clear until August before I could start doing things like swinging a golf club. And right now my shoulder's back to where I have 95% of my use of it again. I find very little that's bothering me. But it was a year of my life that I could not do the things I wanted to do, simply because I decided to, and I was in a hurry, and I decided to move a cabinet by myself.